Blanket stitch applique is fun to do on the Pfaff Creative 3.0 sewing machine. So you actually have a couple different blanket stitch options. So let's start by going to the quilt stitches, and you'll find stitch number 8 and 9. 8's going to be the little heavier version, 9 is your traditional blanket stitch that you're going to use. Now when you do go around small areas, circles, curves, I highly recommend a open toe foot. This one's actually a clear version. You can also get a metal version also, so check with your local Pfaff store for those extra feet. It also has a red mark right in the center, so easy to guide your project with, and it is set up for IDT. So let's just go ahead and use this foot to start off with. Take a look at the settings for this stitch. This stitch is 2.5 wide and 2.5 long. So traditionally, as I make something maybe a little wider, I'll also make it a little longer. I like to keep these stitches with the same settings, length and width, but you can make one longer than the other. You have full control over those settings. So let's just start at the 2.5, and we'll go around a little area. I love stopping with the needle in the down position, so if that's not already engaged, go ahead and do so. And let's just take a look at some of the things that will make this stitch go around this star the easiest. To better know where you're going to start, touch the presser foot down button and then touch it again. It will come up just a little bit, let you be able to move things around and be able to position that first stitch the easiest. If you need to hand turn that down just to make sure you're going to start in the right place. And of course, by testing this out ahead of time, you can see if your stitch is going to be too big or too overpowering or not big enough for the shape you're going around. This smaller little applique does kind of require a little bit smaller stitch. So really the setting that is where it came up with at is the best. So I went ahead and I noticed that my stitch came forward, and now I need to pivot. So where's the stitch going to go next? It's going to go out to the other side. So this is where if you just kind of tap your toe, lift up the presser foot, you can control by moving your fabric around where that stitch is going to come down. So it doesn't give you like a stitch out in left field that doesn't look the best. So this stitch is totally lined up with this foot. So the center of the stitch is centered with that little red mark. I love that. Love the fact that I can just tap, when I stop with the needle down, it raises the foot. So all I need to do is really just kind of concentrate on where I'm going for this particular stitch and take my time to go around. That's one thing I think I watch people do is they go too fast. They're just trying to spin it around as they go. And really you need to just kind of take your time, control where each stitch goes, because once it's stitched, it's kind of stuck there, isn't it? But I love to be able to go around here. Now just because we're doing applique with a blanket stitch, this is pretty traditional. But you have all 200 plus 50 stitches that can be used for applique also. So just keep in mind that if you get tired of doing blanket stitch applique, there's a lot of other choices for you. So I'm going to just go ahead, I'm going to touch the scissors because it'll take a cut right where I want it, right where my last stitch is. And this is kind of what you're looking for, guiding the long part along the raw edge and then working your way around the shape. So next up I'm going to show you the built-in satin stitch for satin stitch applique that comes with the Pfaff Creative 3.0 sewing machine.